All right. Good morning. Good morning. Let me get all my stuff adjusted here. All right. So starting off on here a slow Monday. Right. A little bit of slow Monday here, right? Overall, I guess I mean the biggest telltale trend we have going on, for lack of a better word, is obviously euro pound right now down 48. Statistically, that's going to be the biggest mover out there. And you're seeing it is a true combination of pound weakness. We're seeing, again, minus 19 versus the dollar, minus 39 versus the yen, which is very small. And obviously the euro dollar up 38. Again, that's pretty decent as well. So overall, I would say the dollar really hasn't started hitting its Monday morning stride yet. Again, you're seeing a little movement in those two, but again, versus the Swiss had some great data. Again, the 0.5 was not there, it was 0.7. But again, minus 22, it's not a monstrous move, right? Dollar CAD, Dollar CAD's holding firm a little bit. Aussie, totally flat at 11. So we haven't seen Monday morning really roll into effect yet. There was some pretty crazy gaps last night. If you guys were able to grab, if you remember me saying last week, hey, I think this is the week. Natural gas is super, super high. I believe we're going to have, I believe next week is the time to short. And I don't know if you looked at that one yet today, but it's down like almost 13% already. it's straight down. Yeah. So again, the craziness of natural gas is still there. But for the most part, we'll see how the rest of today's morning. There's no obviously U.S.-based data. We do have the cash rate tonight. Expected to go up a little bit, right? 0.25. Again, I think that's decent. But remember, a lot of times when we come in exactly as expected, it tends to be a short base signal. And right now, we're seeing the price move down a little bit. Again, we'll see if, again, that changes around today as the U.S. trader comes online and all the big money comes online. So, but that's it for Monday. There's not really a whole lot. Most of the data this week is coming in, back in more than anything else, versus the front end aspect of it. So, Neuro, you're back. Neuro, you were gone like a whole week. I was like, is he on vacation? Did he like not tell us he's going on vacation? Like, what's up? It was funny because the drawings actually broke last week one day, and we're like, Neuro's not even here. Wonder how that's happening. It's kind of funny. You weren't here, but you're still getting picked on. So, yeah. So again, in the overnight, not really much, right? Small things. Holtzman calls for 4 more 50% basic hikes. I saw this one. I was like, 4? Like you guys are talking about like maybe 2 and then we're done. And now it's like 4. I was like, wow, that's kind of, I don't know. I don't know where the 4 came from. And that was kind of surprising. A couple more, a little bit of Chinese data. And besides that, not much, right? Consumer prices from the Swiss and not really much, right? And it's kind of like, right? Not much in the overnight at all. So, yeah, like I said, I was in Vegas, so I was way off time zone. Oh yeah, yeah, I'm sure. Um, you know, I'm sure. Um, but anyway, let's just dive right into the charts. Actually, tomorrow morning we do have Pal testifying, and again, we know what when Pal testifies that can do. There'll be people that saying we're not doing enough. Some people saying we're doing too much. Soft landing, hard landing. I need voters. We know how this one rolls. We are not unaccustomed to what testimony sounds like. Um, you know, and for the most part, I don't think Powell will get blasted tomorrow like he normally does. I mean, again, we haven't had any type of bottom yet necessarily, soft, hard, weak, whatever you want to call it. Um, hasn't really been anything that's a huge major concern. Um, and again, it's working, right? We see inflation slowing. It's way too high still, but slowing, right? So I mean, that's good. So I mean, what are they going to blast Powell that you didn't do enough? It's like really because you were telling him to not do anything last year, and you know that he was doing too much. And I don't know. I think the Fed is I don't think they're going to be able to blast Powell as much as they normally would. So we'll see. So again, 2 days of not much, and then obviously after that, that's where the craziness happens with all the employment data. So yeah, another day of testimony. All right, so let's go through. Here's that big drop. Look at this. Where's it at now? 12% through the floor. Gotta love it. All right, so the VIX. VIX is a little bit higher. You can see obviously Friday end of day we had that little kind of spike up and down. We had the gap up, but it really hasn't done much. With that said, the dollar moved a little bit, right? Europeans, again, here's kind of the Sunday night gap aspect of it. The Europeans sent it straight up. 530 reversal, turn it, rolled it back down. We're exactly where the Europeans started the market. So, again, not much crazy movement. It's down a little bit, 0.12. Not a whole lot. And again, we tagged the 78 on the top side so we can delete that off and see where some of the new people are coming in at. And, whoops, not that way. I wanted to do it the other way. Well, I guess it's almost at the 78. It is at an area of buying right here. All right. We'll pull it. We'll go from the top at this point. So yeah, 78 has something. So that's kind of what we're looking like dollar wise, right? Again, we've been here before, but we have one, we have two, we have three. Next time should slice right through it like a warm knife through butter. And again, we know we have buying coming back down here at 104.15. Now the question is, will we be able to hold and kind of maintain and kind of just chop back and forth down at this 104 mark? And again, with Powell testifying, there could be some prizes. And I think the big thing of Powell mentions that, hey, listen, and I'll tell you right now, I've heard it from, I don't know, 3 different of the Fed presidents, right? Yeah, we're going to continue to raise interest rates. And everyone's like, oh, they're going to continue to raise interest rates. It's like, yeah, I think they were pretty clear about that. I don't think that was anything they weren't clear about. So, yeah. Put that down there as well. Put that way. So, yeah. Again, areas of buyers coming in, typically Monday mornings, U.S. sessions, where we see dollar strength roll back in as the U.S. traders come online. So, again, that's probably what we're going to see here. All right, indices for the most part. I mean, Russell was positive a little while ago. It is now negative. It's like, oh, God, they're going to raise interest rates. They're all a little bit in the green minus Russell. And again, Russell is the oddball. It's always the one that's kind of does something a little bit strange. You can see Apple up, Tesla down. It's funny. I saw an ad. It wasn't an ad. It was like one of the, Google gives you like, oh, here's the stories that you most care about. And I guess Tesla lowered the prices on a bunch of cars again. And I guess like there's a Model 2 they lowered it on. And they like didn't tell people they were doing it ahead of time or something. So I thought that was interesting. Like people are like mad that Tesla's lowering the price of cars. I'm like, that's great. Why is that bad? Right? I mean, that was a problem before. It's like, oh, you get a Tesla? Who can afford that? Right? Now it's like, I think they said, I forget which one it was. Was it the Model 2 maybe? I don't know. One of them were like, yeah, it's going down to 29,000. I'm like, that's great. Right? You look at so many cars out there right now, they like start at 35, like ones that are useful, right? Like if you have a family, you're not using like you're not using a 2-seater, right? You're using like one of those like mid-size SUVs. So like, all right, that would be $35,000-$40,000. Bam, right there, right? I mean, if there's a Tesla now for 29, that's not bad, right? It's not bad. I mean, you get that 29,000 range, you can start getting leases for like what, $300 a month? That's cheap. It's cheap, right? Not that, and again, not that the electric cars are saving the environment or anything, but you guys know how it goes. All right, so commodities all in the red, right? Oil, I love it. We're like, yeah, all commodities in the red. It's awesome. But oil is still at $79. It's like, oh, go the other way. Do not go towards 80, right? So yeah, it's red. Let's see. Maybe we continue to push lower. Right. I'm not happy about that. But gold and silver, we did say, hey, listen, going into the new week, we are going to raise interest rates. Looked at, get short both of these. And you can see gold is down 0.22, silver down 0.55. So rolling across into the Aussie dollar. Let's clear some of these news things. You can see all the chop back and forth. It's like, they ruined all this stuff here, right? We're still going down the middle of that channel. So I would say there's not much in this one right now. You can kind of extend some of these across. And we mentioned before, we'd see where it went on Monday to kind of get us to where we needed to be for that interest rate. Right now, if we can get that dollar strength to roll back in, that would really kind of bring us lower, which could be a nice little buy signal. Right now where we are, it's kind of sitting in the middle, right? I mean, this is it's like a 5:30 reversal-ish time frame. The wick is okay. I like the wick down here. I think that's decent. Again, we can kind of mark that off. Maybe we push back down. It's 14 pips. I mean, we could blow through that by then. But, if we kind of deteriorate around here, this could be a target / entry for tonight. Top side, not really as interested in that. Probably, again, it just shows the consolidation that we're building levels inside of our highs and lows. So, what do you do with this one, right? I mean, I guess you could look at this and say, all right, wait a second, right? Looking over here, get rid of the current. You can say, okay, we're in a downtrend. Oh, it is green. Is it a downtrend setup? And you can look at it and say, maybe, but are we pulling back to levels? Not really. And it's hard because, again, as the U.S. session comes along, we should see move into the downside. So right now, not much. Plenty of news-based levels for tonight. And like I said, normally when it's something like this, normally we're looking to go short, right? When it comes in as expected, we look to go short, particularly for interest rate rises. But right now, looking at this, you're like, is there anything that's like, is there a great short in here? Not really, right? We need some strength to come into the market, so it's not quite there yet. So, we'll see. Also, yen. So, also, yen. We talked about hitting 91. Yeah, we hit it. We hit it late last night. We hit it. We hit it again. And look at this. Look at all the basing. Base. And it's trying to do a little bit of a pullback. Now, we do have a Harry Potter a little bit lower. At this point, just wait for it to come down. I mean, we're like 18 pips from it. I think that makes sense. This is one we've had on. We talked about it last week. We love the fact that it came through. Last Tuesday, we sliced through it and actually pierced it and then came back up again, and they just did nothing but base up high. It's awesome. Coming back down again. Again, if we see any weakness, great. Maybe we have a big surprise. Maybe they raise interest rates double what they say they're going to double. Maybe it's a 0.5 tonight, and all it'll do will shoot straight back up again. So we'll see where we are. We know we have that data coming in, and that's absolutely something we got to watch out for. I believe it's this one, right? Yeah, the interest rate decision. So again, everybody knows the interest rate decision is coming in. So there's no major surprise. With it driving down, it's kind of leading us to believe that it is probably, it could be more of a surprise. But right now, we got to wait for the U.S. trader, U.S. banks, all that stuff to come fully online. And we'll see where we push it throughout today. And again, remember, part of this is also a yen play right now. Okay. But is there something tradable out of it right now? There can be a case made as far as like a little Harry Potter. I mean, we are getting the base and we know it's clear, but it's so close down here. And again, we had the basing in there. Again, no entry. There could be a case made if we pull back up now, but I would almost say, there's your base, and I would say that this is probably, if you want to Harry Potter it, that would be a better kind of entry for Harry Potter. You may say, why there? Why not just use this one, right? That's the rules. Well, you're looking for near-term basing, but unfortunately, there's not really a great zone to draw it from. There is this little kind of one candle top, little doji-looking candle right there, right around the European Open, and it did kind of come up and then kind of ran into some selling and pushed back down again. So that would be kind of, I mean, it's only 7 pips. That's kind of the only thing we got. And it kind of coincides, right, with the 23. So if this is truly the bottom and it pulls up, there could be a case made to get short there. Again, the next time we would need it to really kind of complete this Harry Potter would be for that same level for a 50. So, it's there. It's okay. It's just there's no other, you'd have to use something way back here to be able to define it otherwise. And with that punching through, I'd much rather go a little bit more conservative. And sometimes, sometimes conservative is bad, right? Right? It may just hit this line here. It may just hit the yellow and take off, and then we missed it. But it's better not to get into a trade than be, over aggressive and, just getting, you know, stop out left and right. Euro dollar. All right, so euro dollar. So again, in the overnight, you can see that we really started to smash through that 6 and 1/8 level. We came up, we hit it, we pulled back. We pulled back again. We finally broke through, we pulled back again, and it grabbed the buyers right here. Set late last night, and that was the 5:30 reversal for the morning. It actually grabbed the buyers based off of this level. And again, there was your base, right? It pulled back, went down, went higher, and then confirmed right here at 6 o'clock last night, right? And then all it did was went right off the confirmation higher. So now we're driving forward. So let's kind of delete these levels for last week for news. And again, the news didn't do much. It went down just a little bit, right? Nothing super crazy there. We're going to pull this down. Yeah, we're going to pull it here for this week. Let's box that off. Again, we know we're going to level up top. We're sitting in sellers right now, but I don't like this is a very, very kind of iffy, right? I mean, like, what is this? Right? Is this a clean zone? No. Is there a confirmation from it? Yes. But this is like, all over the place. So if it does reverse, I mean, this is a level where you would expect to see a reversal. I mean, it makes sense. There are obviously sellers here basing. It is a 78.6 level. You guys know my opinion on the 786. It's not my favorite level for currencies. It works better in commodities. But again, it's a level people are going to go off of, combined with a, Monday morning open. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. We expect dollar strength to roll back in. So we'd expect it to come back to the downside. So if you are going to get short, again, you already can see where this is going to be. It has hit the 78.6. So I'm going to delete that one. And again, I'll leave it there because it was the 78. But that's kind of what we're looking at right now. And you can see when I go from the most recent low to high, is that the correct place? Some people may pick it. Some people may pick this one. But again, the most recent trend that we're in right now, you can see that basing right now from where the peak is also sitting at the 50. So I think this is a level you need to watch out for, particularly for any of the news coming up. I think this is obviously the potential for a profit first, but then maybe something along right here with Powell testifying. Maybe he says, we're seeing great results, and again, we want to, we're going to slow this down a little bit. Maybe he gives us that Dovid speech because we've been seeing nothing but everybody else talking about strong, strong, strong. Maybe he gives us a dollar week statement and that launches us higher, right? We'll see, right? We'll see. But I think that's an important one to watch out for. And again, if we do break, you can see that it doesn't take much. If we go into this next level, then it becomes a 61.8. So it's a level that I like either way. Big question is, are we going to slow down from this 530 straight up this morning? And again, this is the opening path. We should see this kind of rolling a little bit. Let's see. Did we get another headline? Nope. Thing. Just the Holtman's thing from 2 hours ago. Yeah. So this is just the U.S. trader reacting to what we heard. I would expect this to surge and then turn and roll. So that's the biggest level I'm looking for. As far as sells go, probably not much for me up until up top. I don't like this one here. Even this is not the best. If I have to shrink this a little bit, it would be there. We adjusted that last week. I don't know why I moved that, but it's actually there. We did it off that, and we'll do it from there right now. I think that's what we're looking for. Whoops, I want to move that. So yeah, so that's kind of the top. Are there sellers here? Yeah, there is. I just don't like the way the candle formation happened, and it happened at 7:30 in the morning on a Wednesday. It came down and he based immediately. So I think there's probably more sellers here than up top, but it's just not a clean enough zone for me. So at this point, whether there turns and rolls here, it goes all the way up. I'm not looking for anything until, again, there's kind of my top and bottom right now of the two levels, 106.97 and 106.24. All right. And we're flirting right in the middle. But yes, I do acknowledge that there are sellers sitting here. It's just a very sloppy zone. And for Monday morning, I'd much rather wait. Now, euro pound also surging. Now, we do know that euro is coming up to this 88 mark. It's an area we've seen sellers before. We've touched it again and then kind of front run. So kind of the same thinking. Euro dollars at an area where we do have sellers, not the cleanest of levels. But if you look at euro pound, it is also at that same level. Now, here was a trade. And again, this is one that we kind of pulled back in. We were kind of hoping that we would get kind of a pullback here We didn't, and it came down and it ended right down here, and then we went to Sunday, and it's like, yep, we got to get rid of it, right? Because it was a Harry Potter trade. It went all the way to full profit target. It's a new week. We can't really, we were in the middle of the kind of the setup. So although it did hit and go down, this would not have been an entry. As far as it pushed and the fact that we rolled over, this would not have been an entry. We were kind of hoping that we just kind of maintained here and then gap lower. We didn't. We held right here, and then it started to push down, and unfortunately, it didn't gap down. It was already down here, so it wasn't really, not really the setups that we were looking for. So yeah, we were hoping that we'd get more, but you can see the basing, the pop, 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 and then went through and then missed the other side. So again, I do think there's a reversal in order here. It has hit this area a few times. We do know that it's an old 78.6 level. Um, Again, definitely sellers here. With it approaching that 10 o'clock time frame, you can see that here we can take this off. Actually, let's bring this down to here now. Let's turn this color. Let's see. Actually, not horrible long. I think we can get. Yeah, it's only 8. 8 for 3 is right there. That's close. It's really, really close to where your profit target should be. Copy, paste. There we go. Not horrible. Not horrible. All right. Euro yen. All right. So euro yen. This did go a little bit lower. And again, you can see Harry Potter from last week triggered. You were out at 8:30. You guys knew this one from last week. It was a Thursday based trade. So let's clean this up. So also in a reversal area, but very ugly in kind of how it's established here, right? That's a huge zone. But again, touch, touch, touch. 3, it just hit again. It's in the right area, but I can't say that I'm a huge fan of this one. Again, reversal level, but quite an ugly. I mean, I guess that you could use this one here. There's less testing on it. Again, I don't like the 786. So yeah, kind of. I would expect this one to roll as well. Just because again, it's been really more or less straight up since last night. Where is it? Europeans went down 530 straight up. Again, in an area of sellers, but the zone is just crap because it's from. I just don't like that zone. Yeah, descending, 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 descending. The base is there, but it's not. I mean, 1, 2, 3. This is hit 4. Hmm. My opinion is there's a reversal here. As far as being able to define where your risk should be, it's going to be hard. As well as there's this, right? There's also this that we are flirting with 145, right? I think you guys can see it better there. There's also that, right? So it's a 61.8 pullback. It's got an area with 3 hits on it already. Plus, it's a whole number there at 145. There's a lot of reasons to take that one short. So again, euro dollar, area of shorting. Euro pound, area of shorting. Euro yen, area of shorting as well. Really, the other two have much better zones to take this one off of. This is my least favorite of all of them. But again, it's giving you the same signal. Pound dollar. All right, so there's where we got the pound dollar. So it looks like pound dollar Friday. Again, you're not taking a pound dollar trade at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday, but you could use that as far as how to trade the next week. So if we do bring this up and kind of box off the new area from Friday, you can see here's Sunday night and pretty simple short, right? Pretty simple short. 11 for right there, and you are out at 5:30. So there's your Sunday night trade. Let's see what do we do it now. So I would probably be a bit more cautious at this point. Again, you have your 1, your 2, your 3 sitting in there. They are a little bit descending in there, but this would be hit number 4, and that's not even including the confirmation level right here. It is a good level. I mean, like I said, we liked it. Again, you're not taking it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, particularly with all the basing. And then when Sunday night opened up, it was like, hey, listen, if we use that, is it worth taking? Yeah, 11 pips risk, sure. 11 for 35 in the other direction, love it. It had plenty of room to run. We would have known that there was a profit target that needed to be taken right there. So again, everything is good. I'd like to see this one deteriorate a little bit lower. There is a little bit of a zone that's kind of hidden right there with a touch. Does that line up with any fibs? No, not really. That's close. It's close. I think right now, again, if you're going to put 2 profit targets, I think those are your 2 profit targets right now. This is a nice bounce. Again, a little 10:30 reversal time frame from Friday. So I'd say if you are still short, take profit here. Right, this would be a buyback area. I think there's a potential for a reversal at 119.67. So I like to see where the current trend goes for the day. Right now, it's kind of like, it's a little stuck. See, it's dollars hitting the zone that it should be. So it looks like it's going to do it, right? It looks like it's trying to do it right now, but we're not quite there yet. So again, it's Monday morning, right? Market's got to get its coffee in. All right, pound in. Total sleeper. Still, I could still draw it. We hit it again late last night, and we kind of ran at that same level at the 163 level. So nothing's really changed with this pair. Totally asleep. We're still looking for if it pulls back up to here. We know they have this 164.29. Again, we do have a racetrack potential above it, but we're just literally bouncing between these 2 sideways channels. So not much to tell you on this one. Where are we at now in 24 hours, 15 pips? So we're rocking it, right? It's negative in the last hour. It's been positive. So 20 pips in 24 hours. So not really much to trade here. So nothing great. Dollar CAD. All right, so dollar CAD. So we did push higher, and we were talking about getting short from this level up top. It did make it close and then reverse back down again. Dollar CAD also looks more like this. We're kind of heading right down the middle of that channel. Right now, with oil being down just under 1%, you would assume we'd get some major movement in this one. But right now, it's weak CAD, weak dollar is what we're fighting. So we haven't really had one of the two kind of step out. I still do think this 136. Let me give it a new one here. It should be the same color, right? Yeah. 136.53 or 136.54 if you want to put it there, just to make it a whole number. I think it's still the area where we're looking for reversals. We had a decent top. It's hit it twice already, but this confirmation was pretty nice. It kind of slammed into it barely, and then boom, took off very, very fast. So I think it's a good spot, but right now, again, no trend sideways. You can see it's 20 pips. We do have some CAD data that just would have came in. Let's see, what is it? Again, it's already above, so it's not the end of the world. Ooh, that was close. Woo! They got real close on that one. If that had hit 49.9 showing contraction, that would have been bad. So we should see it rally a little bit, although, 51 to 55, it's not really, again, it's showing expansion. So they're still showing an expansion. Had it been 49.9 showing a contraction, that would have been a major problem. So not the end of the world. Again, not going to give us too much CAD strength, but we really need one of these two. We really need one of them to start moving, and unfortunately, they're just not into it right now. So that's what we got going with dollar Swiss again, or dollar CAD. Again, this is Monday morning. That's what we're going to see. Unfortunately, not every day is a crazy day, particularly with Powell speaking tomorrow. All right, so let's run this down. Let's see what we've got here. We had this level 1, 2, 3. We ended up slicing through what time? 2:30 in the morning. That's why. So we're kind of bouncing. So right now, let's see. We are looking for potential entries. And again, 1, 2, 3. Oh, it was 4. My bad. Because look, there's the base. There's the touch. So 1, 2, 3. So it was 4. So I had that one drawn wrong. My bad. This is what we're looking for right now. It's actually not a bad little touch. Look at that. That's not bad. Look at this. That's 130, so it's a little bit early, but look at the base where it took off. That was actually not little. I didn't catch this one. It's not a bad little trade. Oh, it's even 10 pips. So it's like right in my wheelhouse. It's like, oh, 1 to 306. That's a good trade. Wow. Uh, I love to tell you that I wasn't up. Like I would love to say there's no way I would have caught that one, but the reality is yes, Kip had me up. I'm kind of mad I missed that one, and I should have looked at that one. Not too bad. Again, if you are short this one, awesome job. Again, it's a 10 for 30. Your stop loss is absolutely break even. You probably have a 1-to-1 locked in at this point. Nothing worse. Worst case scenario, and again, this one is not going to just magically go all the way top. Again, you only need a little bit more to go. Where does it need to go down to? 23. Yeah, you're like 10 pips away. So yeah, I think this one's good, especially with the dollar weakness we're seeing. So yeah, you should have this one locked in. You should be again, your stop loss at this point should be probably sitting at this point, probably here. Right? Probably there. So worst case scenario, you bank what, 10 pips on it? 12 pips on it. So not the end of the world. Whoops. As far as reversals go, I do think this is an okay level. It has been hit, did base in there. It's absolutely a target first. The only reason I like it, even though it's been pushed deep into the zone, is because it is backstopped by the 50%, so you will have people. We do have another one. So again, right now, with it being a down target, it should be a target first, meaning worst case scenario, if your target 1 would be here, your target 2 would be down lower. Look for a confirmation bounce off of it, whether a green, red, green, or a push, and then if they were to go lower. I would say actually right now, let's see. This one is more of this, a target, and then this one here is more of an entry. And again, it is a base. It has a nice confirmation, strong push off of again. So 92.65 is where the next buy is currently for us. Buy signal goes. All right. So yeah, this is nice. Man, I'm mad I missed this one now. That would have been a great one to have this morning. Ugh. That's why I hate Mondays. It was a very long weekend. I'm glad the weekend's over, but very fun weekend. And as soon as I get off with you guys, I'm making some more phone calls. So I have some arguing to do. The county. Actually, it's not the county. It's Navy now. I have to have a heated discussion with the Navy ticketing department. I think they're trying to bump us for a local connection. I think there was some back end palm greasing happening that got my team booted. And I'm like, hey, I've had that since January 6th. How long has the other team had it? Because I'm just curious. Because yeah, dollar yen. All right, so dollar yen. We got some movement here. Let's see. Let's bring this down. Same thing. We talked about this last week on Friday. We got so close, and I was like, listen, if we can get one more tenth, that's awesome. We did. The 11 o'clock candle came up and got close, but we missed it again, which stinks. We missed it by 1.8 pips. So, sucks. Missed it by 1.8 pips. So, nothing I could say. And it did, look, you can see by the time it closed all the way down here. So, had that triggered, we would have absolutely made it in there. So, gotta hate when that happens, but it does. So right now, I think it's still a valid level. I mean, we did have the base. We had a nice touch. And again, it tried and got slammed down both times. So I think it's absolutely something to keep on your radar. As well as now that we have a new low created late last night on Sunday, you can see it is also a 61.8 retracement. So this is one of those levels that I'm comfortable throwing an alert on. I do like it. And again, we'll throw this here, add alert. Bam, we'll just slam it right there. You can see we were sitting down here on the gap, so we weren't really using it. Pull this. There. 7/8's been touched. We can clear that. Let's bring this across. This is our target low. We know that we do have a level sitting right there. It's kind of a bit of a front run though. So yeah, there's kind of our top and bottom. Actually, this is good enough that your target needs to be there for any shorts. Right now we're going right down the middle. So, what do you do with it now? We need 50 pips up or 50 pips down, really in either direction. I think right now, again, you can see it here. Whoops, right? Pal testifying. I think the way to play this one right now is really not so much today. We'll kind of see where it goes. I mean, if it goes down into either of these two levels, I think I'm good with getting long either of those before Pal speaks. I don't know if Powell says, yeah, we're going to raise interest rates again, or we're going to raise it 2 times, or we're going to hold it all the way through 2024. And people are going to be like, what? And that could provide some strength for sure. So, yeah, so there's our 2 trades. And again, one alert set up top. It's a shame we missed that one by such a narrow amount. It really gave us great movement on Friday, and we just missed it. So that's what happens. We got here. Bonds are up a little bit. All right, so let's look at oil. So oil, we got a nice little top in the overnight. You can see if we've run fibs on this one, up, basically the low here to the most recent high. It's not the most recent low, and the reality is once this started to come back down again, you could argue that this is again, a new trend that we should take fibs from lower. Most people are going to take it from the kind of the pivot point below. And you can see we hit in the early 5:30 time frame. We did hit a 23.6. So again, that's why we had the technical traders coming in. Remember, crude oil is very technically traded. You know, there's absolutely zero reason for it to turn there, minus the 23, and that's why we're seeing it kind of a confirmation off of it. So right now, I would say if we're able to push back up into the 79.69 area, it falls into the kind of the short area. The other thing I'm looking at is, again, we did base here, pull up, and then came down and touched it again. I'm actually kind of looking for a Harry Potter trade here because we do have a racetrack over here based off of what we saw the other day. Oops, not that one. Something along these lines right here. And again, a 1 to 3 only puts us right there. So, and that's where we saw the last base. So this is kind of my next oil look right here is something along those lines. All right. Going from 78.32 down to 77.54. All right. If we come back up, I do think that there could potentially be another short up top as well. Ideally, if we could coincide that with either a session change or some news, I think that would be great. A lot of banter back and forth. You remember the news story on Friday was that UAE wanted to leave OPEC. And then basically the whole rest of the day, we heard basically the UAE saying, that's fake. That's not true. I don't know who said that. That is a lie. We were going back into the whole fake news thing. At the same time, we're seeing that the fleet now that is buying oil from Russia and selling it to Europe over the price cap. So Russia's still getting it. 600 ships. So it's not a little fleet, right? I feel like 600 ships is a lot. That's a lot of circumventing the rules, but I don't know. Yeah. And what's crazy about that? I feel like, the United States is ready to go to complete war over the whole Taiwan scenario. I feel like if you're shooting down anything you possibly can that is Russian related, I feel like if you were trying to circumvent the rules, that they would have some type of ground to like sink those ships, right? Like these are not allowed in. They will be. There's like naval blockades, right? I feel like I don't know how that works with maritime law, right? I just feel like 600 ships. There's like we need like a little crazy. So anyway, there's where we got the oil, right? There's your setup. Not much else we can do with it right now. Natural gas falling through the floor. So yeah, so this is one of those ones of like, hey, get short. Like I like this one short. We can actually adjust this here. I'm like, and I said it Friday. I was like, this is getting way too high. And then look, we took off at 11 o'clock. Right when we were done, they were like, oh, you think it's too high? Watch this. And it went all the way up. And it went up beyond 3. It touched 3. And I said, hey, listen, get short next week. This is one of those ones. And literally, look what it did. It opened down. I mean, the gap is a monstrous gap. It's 12 and a quarter right now, right? 12.3. It's cruising, heading back down to here. So we're back in the 260s. I mean, this run up was just absolutely monstrous. Really not necessarily a justified move. We knew that there was going to be like up snow. Yeah. I think what the forecast is right now. I was talking to one of my parents he was skiing last weekend and they came home early because it was just crappy. I guess what they're saying is they're expecting one more cold front to come through. So like East Coast ski resorts, like our Pennsylvania ones, they couldn't even make snow. It wasn't cold enough this weekend to make slush or whatever. I think they're banking on. They haven't announced their date. They're like, listen, we believe there's one more cold front coming through, so we have one more weekend to go. So I don't know. I feel like when that last one is done, I think that's when we collapse back down to 2 again. So yeah, I didn't expect this much of a gap on Sunday night. And like I said, I was calling for this one short into the new week. This is one of those ones that, hey, I don't really believe in holding over the weekend. But then when you get a gap like this, you're like, oh my God, if I was shorted at 3. And you're right. And again, there's something to be said about this. I don't like to hold over the weekend in products that have, huge risk because it could be unlimited. But again, if you're trading something like this in options, again, those options have that limited risk. It doesn't matter what happens. As long as you are buying the options, you have the right to do something, not the obligation, right? So if you would have bought a put up in this area, be like, yay, here we go. Buying puts, taking advantage of this one, that would have been a pretty penny coming over the weekend. So again, and the reason why you do that is even if it gapped all the way up here, the most you can lose by buying it is what you get into it for. Versus a futures contract, had you shorted this or had you gone long this one, Monday is going to be very, very rough. You're getting a phone call from someone saying, "Hey, you need to deposit a whole lot more money." So, yeah. Anyway, we do have a buyer coming back in at 258. So we'll see if what happens with there. We're basing right above it. It's not right on top, but we're getting pretty close. We'll see. Like I said, I think at this point, I think the craziness has left this one. As far as the major buyers, I think the reason we're seeing the whips now is because the volume is just down. I think the major players and all the speculators, I think, are getting out. So it's getting easier for this one to kind of bounce up 8, down 8, up 8. I actually wouldn't be surprised if we take a bounce off of this and natural gas is green tomorrow. Ideally, I want it to keep coming down. I'm about due to get another fill of propane, so I want this thing to come back below 2 in the next week. Awesome if it did. But I think we'll have some impulse moves, corrections, impulses, corrections, impulses, corrections, all the way back down again. Now gold went a little bit above. Let's see, we'll run this all the way up again. Gold ended high. We're kind of just where we were last week. You can see it's basing off and it's bouncing off an old level. My opinion is gold is high. I would say there's a little bit of a sell area right here. I'd really like to see what gold does. Let's see, this one went past. Let's clear a lot of these things from last week. Again, we bounced off all that. We do know we have some selling up there. I don't think we come up to 1872, but maybe. Let's see. So right now, with Powell speaking tomorrow, again, I think Powell's going to talk about how, listen, everything it's been great, everything we have, but we got more to go. I think is what the line is going to be. And that's been what all the Fed presidents have been saying. I really just don't think that there's going to be too many surprises. If there is a surprise, it's not going to surprise the bond market. Maybe it surprises the stock market. But like I said, the bond market is good with everything Powell is saying. All the Fed presidents are saying the exact same thing, that inflation is still too high. It's working. We're not lowering interest rates at least through 2024. And we need to go more. We need to do more, right? Remember, the only reason we wouldn't go more is if the economy was at risk. Besides the layoffs, everything is still pretty strong. So, yeah, I like it here. I like the fact that it gapped up and went a little bit higher. Again, I think this is more of a swing-based trade. We look for this to come back down again. But if you are looking for something intraday, again, we do have a one candle top that you could potentially use for it at 1855. I think that rolls back down. And I think if it just continues to deteriorate, I do think right down here at 1844 is probably a level. There's enough base in there. It's a 50, so there'll be people in there trying to trade that one. These would be the next two kind of targets to the downside that I'd be looking for, right? Look for it to hit here, take profit. Look for it to hit here, take profit. And really, this is not the best of levels, right? We have some potential for Harry Potter trades if we come down here and we break through these 1823. So again, I think where we need to kind of focus on it is from here till not that one. There. Powell's at 10 tomorrow, right? Yeah. Powell's at 10. I think what happens between here and here, European session open, Powell speaking, is really what's going to dictate what happens next. So if we come up, I think makes sense to short it. Otherwise, look to see what happens between here and here. Look to see if we can find a small little level. Silver, again, a little more choppy. It did go a little bit higher, right? Let's see. Sunday. Yeah, it kind of gave us an overnight little short here. It looks similar, right? This one pushed up, grabbed that zone like we mentioned, and then was off to the races down, and then reversed at 10:30. Came back up again. It broke. It did Harry Potter, but again, we weren't getting long, right? On Sunday night, we were looking for shorts on that one. So that one's good. Let's pull. We know that 21 is there. All right, can I put something there? Yeah, there's a confirmation sitting right there. It's kind of what we ran into. Oh, it's such a junk bottom. I don't like the bottom at all. running into? Hmm. I think we break through 21. Look for a bounce right off this. Right. I would say there's probably a bounce sitting right there. But see how it pushed to the end. I wouldn't take it long. I would say if you do get when you get short, profit. You need to get that profit at 2088. Get yourself out before that. Again, I commodity. It will be technically traded. I think the 50s is a telltale sign. Be a little bit more conservative. Get yourself out of that one because again, this had a nice little spike down. Mm-hmm. Watch that one. Now this will be cool. We do know we have levels. Again, it's been through 3. It should get all the way up to here. If we can get, let's see. Oops. Tuesday 10. Tuesday 3. I like that trade. If we can push up. It doesn't really matter what happens here. It's this that I'm looking for. If we get something along those lines, right? But right now, I'm not moving much. So yeah, I think 21 is the big target. But overall, I think if we can get up there, if we're at 21.32, if we grind our way up and we hold, and again, we may even be able to get short in the European session. It may end up doing one of these, right? It may end up doing that, right? If the Europeans get in a little bit early. So I think that's a decent one. I actually kind of like where silver is right now. We'll see what it does, where it closes for today. So it's in a good spot. All right, indices. Yeah, Russell's still having his little temper tantrum. All right, let's see. Oh, 9.15. Yeah, it didn't pull back to his own. These were the turns from last week. 1, 2, 3. There's 4. There's your base in there, so we can pull these. It hit all the targets that we're looking for. 645. Yeah, the confirmation wasn't until down here. Yeah, we didn't have no overnight confirmation on this one, unfortunately, on ES. We are looking for a level in the overnight. I mean, I guess there was kind of a short. Well, let's see. Hold on. Where is it? Yeah, we're beyond here, right? And there's no test. So yeah, here's the 9 o'clock one. I was like looking, there's a bit here. And I was like, oh, there's one here, right? But it was already beyond it. 8:15, 8:30. Once it went to here, it got rid of it. So to the top side, there's nothing in the overnight. So kind of hard. We'd be looking for a pullback, and unfortunately, the only tested zone we have is way down here, and this is the 9:30 candle. It pulled back like it should have. It didn't pull back enough. So there's no entry on the ES. NQ. There's the 9:45 candle up. Yeah, kind of the same thing. I mean, it's just an old level. Like, look, there's the old level. That's where we ended. Um, you know, that's where the level was. There's your confirmation, though. Right there's your confirmation, which is there. It didn't pull back. It did pull back, but just not enough, and there was nothing high on that side. It was already beyond the zone here. So yeah, again, nothing. And again, this is what happens when you don't have enough movement. There's your 9 o'clock. This one's a little harder to grab. If you use this as your level of basing, right? There was a 9 o'clock touch. You missed the 9:30. I was like, oh, maybe. Hmm. You got the pullback. Now, if you were hyper aggressive, then you could have traded this one, right? Could have traded that bottom as a popped up. But again, that's not an opening print. That's more of just a continuation at 10 o'clock. So not an opening print, but again, you could have traded that one with a confirmation off of it, and then there's your touch higher. So yeah, it's in there, but yeah, definitely not opening print. So yeah, again, it looks like the market has a case of the Mondays. Did this go above at 8:30? It did. That one actually wasn't bad. I was like, oh look, there's a touch right there. and it went up. But unfortunately, the 9:30 candle is over here. It already reversed. Look at that. There's your 9:30 candle right here. There's 9:30. So there was an overnight confirmation. It just tagged it at 8:30 this morning. It would have been a nice little run. Again, not opening print. It was a little bit too early. It was an 8:30. But had you traded that one, you're out. That'd have been nice. I didn't catch that one. But yeah, there was your overnight base, and again your overnight touch at 3:45. So all the components were there. We just needed it to go just like a half hour later. If this was a half hour later, it was good. So yeah, it looks like no opening prints today, really. And again, it's Monday. If any day that it happens, it's typically Mondays. So nothing we can do about it. Can't force it. It's not there. You can't trade what's not there, and try to play crystal ball with it. So that's what we got for today. I think the biggest thing that we're going to look for is obviously these Aussie positions. And again, look, 1 or 2, 9, 10, 21, 24. The 53 is not bad, but 9 for the Aussie. We'll see where the Aussie rolls. I think that's going to probably provide the biggest setup today is what happens in the Aussie, particularly the Aussie dollar. Are we going to get Aussie strength, dollar weakness? Right? That would coincide with what we're looking for tonight. Why does that matter? Because everybody knows that they're going to raise the interest rate. If this rallies up all day, that we have the strength before news, that typically is a telltale sign that we're going to have a short because it came exactly as expected. Also kind of doing the same thing. It kind of pulled back and turned off that level that we talked about. Again, we're waiting for this one to break through the 91.32. So we'll see if that one triggers in the overnight as well. So that's what we got. Let's get and do our giveaway. Ty won it on Friday. Ty was like, listen, I'm going to this weekend. I want to feel good Friday. So we know Ty had it. Oh, God. I think everybody's here, right? Well, Debbie Neuro's back. All right. So everybody's in. All right. Winner of today's drawing is... Look at that, Marina. Starts it off strong. There was no Eki. So, again, without the Eki luck on Monday. Right? Without the Eki luck. Let's give it to Marina. The women are starting off in the lead for the week. There we go. We're going to keep it back up again. There we go. We're starting. So we'll see. Can we have a repeat or a little bit of a battle? There we go. ECB lines form on March decision as future hikes debated. This is going to be a big deal. For you that are tracking it, that's going to be a big deal. I'm kind of surprised by the 4 times. Like, I think this is crazy. And again, they're panicking now. Look, 150 hike is okay. More than 1, no freaking way. 4, I don't know where they're coming up with 4. Right? Yeah, we're going to raise it 2%. Like, what? Excuse me. What? So, I don't know. I guess that Holtzman is the Bullard of the ECB. But holy crap. 450s? I know you're late to the party, but let's be real here, right? So, craziness. All right, with that said, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, again, with Powell speaking tomorrow, we got to be a little bit cautious of those opening prints, but I think we could potentially get some fireworks, not for the bond market, not for the dollar, but potentially for the stock market. It could definitely be a indices, futures, contract morning with that play. So with that, I'm out of here. If you need me, shoot me a message on Discord. If not, I'll catch you tomorrow. You guys take care, and thanks again.